Hello, my name is Kelsey Kaufman, and for my reading log, I chose the book I Too Am America by Langston Hughes, illustrated by Brian Collar. So basically, this book it's pretty short, but it's a poem. It's a poem by Langston Hughes, um, but this illustrator, Brian Collar, kind of adds illustrations to the books and what he thinks is Langston Hughes' mind, kind of what he just wanted the story to be. So basically, it's about, or basically what the illustrator says it's about, is about the Pullman porters. They worked hard and were not given the same treatment as others because of the color of their skin. They had to hide when their company. They couldn't eat like where the white folks ate. They had eaten somewhere else, but they were still happy about it and they were still growing strong. From all the guests that like came on the trains and stuff, they gathered many items left behind, like magazines, newspapers, albums, like a lot of other stuff. Then from the back of the train car, they would throw these, throw it, toss it out, and basically acted as like a distributor of knowledge for people who couldn't afford those items. The illustration shows that some young girl in a cotton field down south got some of it, and then even like a city like Harlem, New York, where Langston Hughes is from, they even got some of the stuff, and they are still wanting to absorb as much knowledge as they can. And then throughout like the illustrations, there is like a subtle American flag in it, and that kind of is supposed to convey the message that like of the growth of people in America and through segregation and diversity, which was basically invisible at that time that the poem was written and the time that the poem is showing to convey. I really had no clue what to expect in this book. I really didn't realize it was a poem until I opened it, and I was like, oh, okay. Um, Definitely reading the illustrator's notes about his illustration and what the poem and the illustrations like kind of mean, that definitely helped put it into perspective. I think the purpose of this book is more of like a history lesson, but it's also a lesson on poetry. So you're learning a history lesson, learning about segregation and kind of what they went through, and what these guys, the Pullman porters, were trying to do with like the magazines and stuff. But I also think this is great poetry lesson too, because it kind of shows you the poem, but also shows you the illustration, so kids can kind of see what the poem says and kind of understand it more by the illustrations. The activity I would do I would read them the poem and show them illustrations, have a couple books so they can look through it while doing this assignment. And then I would ask them to decipher the poem and the illustrations to see what they come up. What is the illustration? What does the poem mean to them? Or what do they think it means? And then once they're done with that assignment, I would then share with them the illustrator's note on what he was trying to convey with his illustrations in the notes. So yes, that is my reading log for I Too Am America.